Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're watching SA Today with me, Unati Bagyashe. Let's continue to this now. In a significant move towards strengthening its maritime leadership, South Africa is launching a campaign for re-election on the International Maritime Organization Council for the 2023-2024 biennium during the IMO Assembly currently underway in London, United Kingdom. The Department of Transport, in collaboration with key maritime entities such as the South African Maritime Safety Authority, Transnet National Ports Authority, Ports Regulator of South Africa, and the Department of International Relations and Cooperation is leading this initiative. To tell us more about the campaign, we are now joined via Teams by the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga. Minister, thank you so much for your time. Just talk to us, Minister, about the efforts you've put in behind this re-election campaign and why it's important for South Africa. For the benefit of our viewers, of course, you are coming to us live from London.
Thank you for the question and thank you for having us, and good afternoon to South Africa. We are in London. It's very cold where we are. I am a member of IMO, which is a United Nations specialized entity which is looking at the safety, security, and environmental issues in the shipping industry and maritime sector. And we have been serving in the Council of IMO, and were voted out in 2021 at the Assembly in 2021. And we think that it was not right for South Africa not to serve, and it's not right for South Africa not to be in the Council, because the Council is the working body of the International Maritime Organization. The decisions that get taken at the Assembly that we are attending now will actually be ensured that they get implemented by the Council itself. But also the Council, it processes things that must go to the Assembly for the Assembly to resolve on those matters. And it is therefore important for a country such as South Africa, which is indeed a maritime country, a port country with the long coastline, and of course the vast waterland that we're looking after, to be part of that. We represent SADC region. We are the only country that is serving in the IMO Council, and that is why it is important that we get elected to serve in this body. We have actually put a very formidable campaign. We started well on time. We sent note verbal, which are letters to 175 member states of IMO. We monitored those that responded to us from the Council itself, but of course those that are member states. And we're hoping that we have done everything within our power to ensure the re-election of South Africa. We're just going back. We have taken a lunch break right now, and we're going back. Now we'll actually be voting for the 20 countries that are serving in the category 3. And we have got, I think, about 25 of those countries that will be contesting. And therefore, it is not just an easy contestation, particularly if you are campaigning from outside, because we are no longer serving in the Council. But we think we have done everything possible to probably make South Africa proud. And I want to believe that we have the support of the country as we are here. If we are voted into this, I will come knocking to you to say, I just want to inform South Africa. If I'm not, I will go and sleep, because I will be disappointed and probably will be feeling very bad. But we believe that we've done everything possible to ensure a vote for South Africa, and that we get elected to serve in the IMO. Issues of decarbonization, for instance, they are important because they talk to climate change and the role of the shipping in ensuring that we decarbonize the shipping sector. But how that affects countries such as South Africa, located far from their trading partners, with the waters that we have, it is important that we are there, because if we are absent, particularly as developing countries, decisions that favor developed countries can actually be taken, and they do bad for countries that are developing, such as ourselves. So we are here to say, yes, indeed, but how are we going to finance whatever decisions that get taken? How are we going to ensure that we've got skills that we require in the sector? How are we going to ensure that whatever that we do in as far as whatever that we decide on, we also take part in that and we're not left behind. And that is why it is important to serve in those bodies so that you don't come once in 2 years and then only then that you can raise your voices. And by then you might be very late. And it is therefore very important that we serve in this council.
Minister, let me squeeze this question in because I know that you are going to go back and, of course, in for that voting. You've mentioned basically, all the important things and the hallmarks that make it very important for you as a country, or for us as a country, as South Africa, to be there. And I mean, you've stated a number of reasons, which is cause why South Africa needs to be there. I do see that you are in partnership with key maritime entities, including Transnet and, of course, the Ports Regulator of South Africa. How worried are you that the crisis that is currently playing out in KZN as a result of the chaos and the delays at the Durban port will negatively impact your campaign? Because during that time, we did interview several experts who said that the international world is watching.
Indeed, that is concerning. However, there's never been a time where even cabinet, even the president of the country is paying attention to this matter as we're doing right now. And that is why we have got the freight logistic roadmap that we're taking to cabinet. And that is why we've got the private sector participation framework that we're taking to cabinet, which actually ensures the implementation of the National Rail Policy. But of course, for once, the implementation of the National Ports Act, which was passed in 1996. And amongst the things that it is calling for is the corporatization of NPA, but also the policy that is actually calling for the separation of infrastructure from operators and operations. And what we are saying as a result is the establishment of an equivalent of a SANRAL in the freight rail sector and in the port sector, so that the operators can then compete on an equal basis, and therefore whether the Transnet freight rail trains are available or not. But if I've got a train and I've got an operating license, my train as a private person, or your train as a private person, or whoever else, if I've got those, I'm able to run trains and I'm able to transport freight to wherever where they require to be transported to, like in our ports. The ports of Richards Bay, for instance, was not meant to accommodate the 800 trucks per day. It wasn't. It was actually built for trains, and therefore for it to handle the number of trucks that they've got to handle right now, you therefore are going to have challenges. But what are the issues? What are the problems? It's important for us to make a proper diagnosis. Is the problem with the equipment? Is the problem with the maintenance of equipment? Is there a shortage of equipment? Do we have a problem of skilled people? It's important that we come up with a proper diagnosis. And the documents that I'm talking about actually talk to that. And this is one time where the president says, I want us to move, and therefore what the building blocks are and where do we want to be. As far as I'm concerned, I think that South Africa, when it comes to its ports, we must be the gateway for the continent. And anybody who wants to ensure that their cargo or their freight reaches their destination well on time, they must consider South Africa. Can we do that? Yes, indeed we can. Are we going to do it? Yes, indeed we are going to do it. So that is a story for me that counteracts the story of what is probably happening right now, with the aim of resolving the problems, and we are determined to do that.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. Let's leave it there for now. That is, of course, the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, coming to us live there from London, of course, in a significant move. South Africa, they're launching a campaign for re-election on the International Maritime Organization Council.